Wife Arrangement by Tyler Walker.
According to Aaliyah, a budding fashion designer, the best accessory a girl can have is a nice purse.
When it comes to her sister's wedding, Aaliyah doesn't need a purse on her arm. She needs a man.
What are friends for, right? At least that's what Luke thinks.
They've been friends for a while. They know each other well enough to pull this off.
What's there to lose?
Well, their clothes and some boundaries.
What happens when the lines blur and friends with benefits become a little harder to navigate?
Will Aaliyah and Luke fall head over heels? Or will their friendship fall apart?
Only one way to find out.
And there's only one way to get your hands on the hot, unedited, and unabridged moments between the two.
And that's on TylerWalker.com, where Ms. Tyler knows that sharing is caring.
Speaking of sharing, use code SAVE40 for a sweet 40% discount on all digital content.
And on the lines of caring, be sure to show Ms. Tyler some love by hitting that like and subscribe button so she can continue bringing you stories straight to your listening ears.
You're listening to Tyler Walker's Wife Arrangement.
Chapter 1. Aaliyah. Brandee, you've tried on every single dress in the store today. You need to either pick one, or we can go to a different store. You don't understand. This has to be perfect. This is the only time in my life I'll get to wear a wedding dress, and I want it to be the absolute perfect wedding dress. I do understand. I also understand that if you don't pick one soon, you'll be going to your own wedding naked. They have to have time to make any alterations. Rachel looks over at the very harassed clerk. After pulling out almost every dress in stock, her hair is messed up. Her eyes are glossed over, and she looks as though she is about to strangle herself with the measuring tape. She takes a deep breath and looks at her watch. It is time to meet Mom and Dad for lunch anyway. We'll come back after lunch, and I'll decide then. The clerk looks absolutely horrified at the thought of us returning as Rachel heads back to the changing room. I feel really sorry for her. I hope she earns a good commission from this sale. Mom and Dad are waiting for us at Panera's, my favorite place for lunch. I sigh heavily as I sink into the chair after ordering potato soup, bread, and iced tea. How did it go? Mom asked, almost sarcastically as though she had an idea. Rachel has always been indecisive, especially when it came to big decisions. I'm pretty sure the clerk is going to commit harakiri before we get back, just so she doesn't have to deal with Rachel. I wasn't that bad. Besides, this has to be perfect. I look at Mom and Dad and make a face. They try to hide their laughter. We have to work on the guest list in the morning. I know. We have to narrow it down some. But I don't want anyone's feelings to be hurt because they aren't invited. Then Rachel narrows her eyes and looks at me. Who is going to be your plus one? Dad chokes on his sandwich when Mom answers for me. She'll bring her best friend, of course. There will be no weddings for her anytime soon. She has to date someone first. Don't rush her. She doesn't even have to get a boyfriend or get married. It's perfectly normal to put off dating and marriage until one is older. Thanks, Dad. At the rate Aaliyah is going, she'll be 80 before she finds someone. Then she'll have to go to one of those online dating sites for senior citizens. I glare at Rachel. I can't help it if I have a life. I look over at Mom. I will have a date for the wedding. An actual date. Oh yeah? Who is he? Rachel taunts. You'll find out. I need to find out too. I take the clerk at the dress store a mocha. She thanks me and then sighs heavily when Rachel declares that she is having trouble choosing. However, she finally decides on an off-the-shoulder gown with a long train. The intrinsic beadwork makes the dress sparkle beneath the lights. It accents her classical figure and makes her into the fairy princess she wants to be. The clerk breathes a huge sigh of relief as we leave. That evening, I decide I need to practice what I preach and settle on a dress myself. I'm not a big fan of pastels, but I can't outdo the bride. Dark colors aren't really appropriate for a maid of honor dress, and bright colors, wouldn't really be appropriate. After a microwavable dinner and my second glass of wine, I still haven't found anything that I like that would fit into her theme. A spring wedding. I absolutely refuse to get dressed up in a pale yellow sunshiny dress. I love Rachel, but I won't do that even for her. Finally, after what seems like hours, I finally find a dress I might like. It is simple and is a burnt orange color. This would complement my dark hair, be fashionable, but not garish. I wouldn't outdo Rachel. I could make the case that it is a spring color because some early flowers are this color, and so is the sun as it sets. However, when I click the link, an ad pops up. Date for hire. I almost X out of the ad to go on to look at the dress more, but then a thought jiggles in the back of my head. I can still hear them saying that I wouldn't bring a date. I would only bring my male best friend, Luke. Luke and I have been friends for as long as I can remember, and he has been my date for everything. We went to every school dance, including prom, together. Every party or other event, we went together. It just seemed natural, especially since neither of us seemed to be dating anyone else. I've always had a bit of a crush on him, but I wouldn't want to risk our friendship by acting on it. I wouldn't mind going with Luke, and I'm sure he'd like to go to Rachel's wedding. However, I told them that I was going to bring a real date. The problem is, I don't even know any males who could be a date. I click on the ad, despite my misgivings. I really don't need to take a gigolo to my sister's wedding, and most escort services feature people who are willing to provide a little extra after the date. The ad says that it caters to the professionals who are too busy to have a dating life. People can hire a date to attend dinners and other functions with them. The functions can be anywhere from a casual party to a formal occasion such as a gala or a wedding. The dates will meet with the professional prior to the function so they can get to know each other to make the date authentic. After the function is over, that is it. No other activities are allowed. I wonder.
Chapter 2. Luke. We want to be sure that every advertisement is tasteful. We also want to make sure that potential clients understand that this is not any kind of intimate site. The dates are for that only: dinner, dancing, going to the movies, that type of thing. Janie and Nate nod as they make notes. They're going to work as potential dates, but since they are attending the university to study advertising, I decided to let them try their talents. So far, they have done an excellent job. We have had quite a few people contact us for legitimate dates based on the ads we have put online. It has mostly been people from out of town who come in for conventions or other business and simply want someone to talk to. Some of the dates say they should get paid extra for providing counseling services. Janie draws out some scenes that will work for online ads, while Nate works with her on the narrative. They are a good team. Perhaps I should get into matchmaking as well. While they work, I write down several ideas I have. I need to find some older men and women who would be glad to work as dates. Sometimes a businessman or woman comes into town for a conference and just needs someone to accompany them to dinners or parties. Some of them are in their 50s or are older than that, so a cute, young thing would not necessarily be appropriate. My parents have a lot of contacts and would know of some people who are looking to get paid to have fun. My stomach rumbles, notifying me that I have not eaten in a while. I'm a bit surprised to see how late it is. I've been working since about 6 this morning, and I forgot to stop for lunch. Now it's past my normal dinner time. Janie and Nate smile because they heard my stomach. They've only been here a couple of hours because they come to the office after their classes. I'm just about to leave when I'm notified that I have an email. A woman, Aaliyah, wants to know what the service is about. She explains that her sister is getting married in a couple of weeks, and she needs a date who can be very discreet. If possible, she is looking for a man in his late 20s to early 30s, who is at least 6 foot. She also notes that the wedding will be a very formal occasion, and she will be the bridesmaid, so her date would need to be exceedingly well-groomed. A little bell starts jingling in the back of my mind. Aaliyah, Sister getting married. I smile. If it isn't my best friend. An image of a tall, beautiful woman with a smile that could melt glass pops into my mind. She is the reason I haven't really found anyone. Aaliyah is beautiful, but doesn't act like a snobby, arrogant beauty queen. She is extremely kind to everyone and has an amazing personality. To be honest, I've always measured my dates by her. No one quite stands up to her. I'm a little surprised she hasn't asked me to go with her, because I usually do accompany her to all of her events. On the other hand, I know that the last time I went with her, her parents and sister gave us a hard time because we always hang out together. Thinking back, I realized that it has been a couple of years since we saw each other. She's busy with her fashion blog, and I've been trying to get this business as well as a couple of other ventures up and running. I guess time has just flown by. I decided to send her a message via Instagram. Hi. I just received your email asking about our services. We have a couple of men here who would fit your needs and would love to be your date. My computer dings a minute later, letting me know that she has replied. Awesome, this is a little embarrassing for me, but I find myself in a bind. I am busy and do not get a chance to meet a lot of people, especially men. My sister is getting married, and my family expects me to bring a date. You have nothing to be embarrassed about. Your situation is very common. People are so busy with their professional lives that they don't know anyone outside of their work. That is why we are here. I hate to lie to them, but I don't know what else to do. There's no law that states that a date is someone you have known previously. People go on blind dates all the time. We are here to help. Great. We like to set up a meeting before the event so that we can get to know you better. That way the date seems more natural. Are you available on Friday evening for dinner? I am. We know a local restaurant that has amazing food and tables where we can sit and talk. The restaurant is a nice one. We'll meet at 6. She thanks me. I let her know that I'll send her a picture of the person she is meeting tomorrow. Janie looks up at me and notes that I'm wearing a smirk. What's up, Hefe? Well, my best friend just contacted the business looking for a date. She raises her eyebrows as if to ask, So what? I laugh. She doesn't know that this is my business. We arranged to meet on Friday. I'm pretty sure that she's going to have a heart attack when she finds out that it's me that she is meeting with. Won't she recognize the picture you're going to send? I've changed quite a bit since she last saw me. I've lost some fat, and I've been working out. I'm not the same Luke. You're an evil man, Hefe. I know, isn't it great?
Chapter 3. Aaliyah. After working on Rachel's wedding and trying to keep her from becoming the bridezilla of the state, I'm excited to hang out with my friends tonight at the club. There are 4 of us, and we have been friends forever. They know my family, know Luke, and sometimes know me better than I know myself. Before I head out, my phone blings, letting me know that I have an Instagram message. It is from the dating service and has a picture of the man I will be meeting. I don't really look closely at it. I really don't care, as long as he doesn't look like Quasimodo, the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and as long as I don't show up at the wedding with Luke, my old standby. My parents and Rachel would never let me hear the end of it. I take a cab to the club because I am planning on having more than just a regular glass of wine. After what Rachel has put me through already, I deserve more than wine. The girls are already at the club, sharing some nachos. They even remember to order extra guacamole for me. I sit down with a huge sigh and order a Long Island iced tea. The girls look at me with sympathy. That bad, huh? Kara asks. I nod, putting on a very sad face. I have aged 100 years, and the closer the wedding gets, the crazier Rachel gets. I'm going to nominate the clerk at the dress shop for sainthood. I was ready to throttle Rachel, and I wasn't the one having to wait on her. Everyone laughs. My drink arrives, and I take a long drink, hiccup, and sit back in my chair. That is what I think of the wedding process. I could never be a wedding planner. Just wait until you get married. You can make Rachel do all the work for you. It'll be your turn to stress her out. With no one in sight, I'm pretty sure the only thing I'll ever get married to is my couch. You never know. Kara wiggles her eyebrows at me. Speaking of weddings and finding someone besides your couch, what is the process on finding a date for the wedding? Lisa asks. I contacted a date for hire website and managed to hire a date. Lisa opens her mouth to comment, but before she does, I add, no, he isn't a gigolo. He doesn't provide extra services after the date for an additional fee. I can get that for free. I motion over to a group of men who are trying to decide who is going to man up and come talk to us first. I'm sure one of them would be happy to put out, and I wouldn't even have to buy him a drink first. The girls laugh. They can tell I'm in my sarcastic mood. I pull out my phone and open the Instagram app. The company sent me a picture of the man I'll be meeting on Friday. The company arranges a meeting before the event, so it won't be completely awkward. I pass the phone around to everyone. Everyone notes that he is very good looking and nods their approvals. At least that is something. You aren't hiring someone hideous, Lisa comments. Wait a minute, can I see that picture again? I hand my phone back to Kara. He looks very familiar. She stares at the picture for a few minutes. You know what? He looks exactly like Luke. It isn't Luke. You are crazy. Look for yourself. It can't be. There is no way I am hiring Luke to be my date. I zoom into the image and stare at it in disbelief. I'll be damned. It is Luke. That turkey didn't say anything to me. I feel like a complete idiot. He's changed quite a bit. He has grown out in all the right places, Tara says. And he certainly wasn't bad looking before. My phone gets passed around again. There are a lot of kissing faces, mm-hms, and other noises. I can't believe you didn't recognize him. What is wrong with you? Kara asked. She's been in denial. She wanted to find herself a real date, but ended up with the same old, same old. Tara cackles at her own words. I sit back hard in my chair. This is going to be so awkward. I've hired my male best friend to be my date, and I didn't even recognize him. I can't believe this. Another long swig of my drink. I was just checking to make sure he wasn't Frankenstein. He's definitely not that. Although Frankenstein gets a bad rap, he was just a kind, lonely guy looking for a friend. Aaliyah is just a kind, lonely woman looking for a friend too. She just ended up renting a friend she already had. Well, at least you already know what you are paying for. It's kind of like buying a used car. You never know what you are going to get until you drive it for a while. At least you've driven this car before. And 3 heads swing my way. I've never driven him. We're only friends. Girl, I'll test drive him for you. That way I can tell you whether he's a lemon or not. I threw a chip at Tara. The company doesn't offer those kinds of services. Remember? He's not a gigolo. So he puts out for free. I throw another chip at Tara. You guys are awful. I told my folks that I was bringing a real date, remember? I told them that I wasn't going to be showing up with Luke. Now here I am, showing up with Luke. My friends had the nerve to look unsympathetic. There is no shame in bringing this piece of candy to any party. I sigh again. My head is buzzing, but I don't know if it's from the drink or the realization that I hired my own best friend to go on a date with me.
Did you see this? Jacob Stone, billionaire Playboy, scores again.
Your grandfather's condition is declining rapidly. You need to make a decision. Will you do the experimental treatment?
How am I going to pay for it?
No money, no treatment.
It's time to settle down. Show the board that you can offer stability. Show them who you really are.
Hi, I'm Jacob Stone.
I know who you are. CEO of Stone Hospital Group.
I need you to fake marry me. I'll pay for your grandfather's treatment.
Fine, I'll do it. I'll marry you.
Please spare me the romantic nonsense. We both know why you're really here. Gold digger.
It was fake at first, but then I fell in love with you. But to save you now, am I going to have to break your heart?
You're going to have a lot more problems than just your grandfather's health.
I thought I loved Jacob Stone, but before I marry him, I'm gonna have to destroy him.
Chapter 4. Luke, did she figure out it was me yet? I've changed a lot since she has seen me. I adjust my tie and wait for Aaliyah at a table in the back of the restaurant. The food here is amazing, and it has just the right atmosphere for just about any occasion. It's not too fancy, but certainly wouldn't be considered casual either. At first, I don't see the stunning brunette walk in the door. I look up when the maitre d' escorts her to the table. Belatedly, I stand up to hug her. Hello, Luke. Imagine finding you here. Her smile is even more beautiful than before. As a matter of fact, all of her is. Her smile reaches all the way to her eyes. Her body is that of a classic goddess statue. The dark green dress that hugs her body accents curves I don't remember her having before. I finally remember to breathe as the maitre d' pulls the chair out for her. I decide that I had better sit down before I fall down. She orders a glass of wine, and the waiter gives us the menus and a basket of bread. I still have not been able to find my tongue. Can this truly be the woman I grew up with? Finally, I'm able to pull myself together. I wasn't sure if you would recognize my picture. I was hoping you didn't, and this could be a surprise. To be honest, I didn't at first. I had to really study it after the girl said it was you. You've changed a lot. So have you. You are even more beautiful than you were the last time I saw you. Aaliyah blushes and smiles shyly. Thank you. She opens her menu and a silence hangs over us like a damp towel. I'm not sure what to say. Everything that I'd planned out has already slipped through my mind. I'm certainly not as calm and collected as before. The need to break the awkwardness was overwhelming. I was already invited to the wedding, you know. You don't have to pay me to go. She sticks her tongue out at me. How ironic is it that you want to hire a date and end up with me? Really, all you had to do was ask. I would have gone with you. A faint red flush creeps up her face. To be honest, hiring a date was my way to get out of asking you to go to the wedding. Am I really that odious? No, silly. Mom, Dad, and Rachel were giving me a hard time that you would be my +1. Mom suggested more than once that she didn't need to add you to the guest list, because you would just come with me. Told them that I had a real date. I saw the ad and thought I'd prove them wrong. How did that work out for you? She sighs heavily. About as well as blowing oxygen on a fire to put it out. Then she added, but at least you aren't Quasimodo or Frankenstein. Hey, they both were nice guys, at least until everyone treated them meanly. That's what I hear. I figured that if you wanted to hire a date to go with you, I would rent you the best man the company has. That is me. Do I have to pay extra for you, since you're the boss? How are you paying? Cash or credit? Neither. But since I'm stuck with you as a date, I'll have to listen to all the crap the folks will give me about bringing my old standby instead of a real date. I try to look offended. I am a real date, and I'll be the best-looking date there. I'll be even better looking than the groom. Conceited much? Nope. Not at all. Just realistic. Aaliyah takes a sip of her wine, then says, I will give you that. They'll be proven right about me bringing you, but everyone will be surprised about how good you look. You look amazing. She laughs. I was hanging out with the girls last night. They were drooling over your picture. I raise my eyebrows and smile. They compared renting a date to driving a used car. Tara offered to take you for a test drive to make sure you were running okay. I choke on the wine I just swallowed. She's great, but I'm going to have to pass on her generous offer. Party pooper. Every party needs a pooper, and that's why you're taking me to your sister's wedding. I ask her how her parents are, and she tells me that her mother is crazy with the wedding stuff. Aaliyah tells me her father has predicted that she won't get married until she's 80. Judging by how amazing she looks, in addition to her amazing personality, I highly doubt that. Some man will come along and scoop her up before she even realizes she has been scooped. A tiny pang hits my soul at this thought, but brush it off. I've read your blog a few times. Are you interested in fashion? Of course. I can't send my people out there on dates in yesterday's clothes. Everyone has to keep up with the times. She laughs. So you aren't wearing the parachute pants from your Michael Jackson costume to the wedding? Nah. I thought I would wear the same suit he was wearing and the same suit he wore in his Smooth Criminal video. Oh, that would be hot. Honey, I would be hot wearing a trash bag. What you talking about? She rolls her eyes at me and laughs. The awkwardness from the first few minutes of our get-together has disappeared. And it is just like old times, with us bantering back and forth and catching up on what we've been up to. She may have transformed into a gorgeous vision, but she still has her wit and intelligence. I've missed her.
Chapter 5. Aaliyah. I'm pretty sure that my jaw dropped to the floor when I walked in and saw him there. I knew that he had buffed up and had grown into a very handsome man, but I was not expecting the Adonis to be sitting at the table waiting for me. His rakish smile makes my belly do flip-flops, and I had to remind myself that this was just Luke, the boy I had been friends with my whole life. He has been doing some crazy things since I have seen him last. He's a great storyteller, and I can't stop laughing. Luke spent some of the time just trying to find himself, so he engaged in several jobs before deciding to start the date site. In comparison, my life has been pretty boring. I've managed to become well known as a fashion blogger. I have enough sponsors that I can live very comfortably. I enjoy my job, but it isn't glamorous. One of the things that I noticed that neither of us has talked about is significant others. I tell him that I had never found anyone that I truly liked. I've dated a few times, but the guys are either boring, pompous, or they just want to roll in the hay. You just haven't found anyone who can compare to yours truly. He sits back in his chair and puffs out his chest. You know it. That is exactly why I can't get anyone. There is absolutely no one who can turn a double Dutch jump rope or play tetherball as good as you. Without those skills, I'm afraid the deal is off. He laughs. I'm also very handsome, smart, charming, and funny. Don't forget humble. I laugh as he starts singing the old country song. Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble when you're perfect in every way. So why don't you have a wedding ring on, or at least some beautiful woman by your side? I do have a beautiful woman. Her name is Cersei. Oh, really? I feel a twinge of jealousy until he tells me that she is a German Shepherd, mixed with some other breed that showed up on his doorstep one morning, cold and hungry. I couldn't resist her. She was absolutely beautiful and had a look on her eyes that was loving from the very start. Is she part of the dating service? Not usually. She is more of a stay-at-home kind of gal. As the night wears on, we continue talking like we had never lost contact. He is the same Luke he always was, only a little more gorgeous. Okay, a lot more gorgeous. You know, I told my parents and Rachel that I was bringing a date. You are? Me? I charge by the hour, by the way. I roll my eyes and shake my head. I meant a real date, like a man who I was dating. He raises his eyebrows. You should be my boyfriend, at least until the wedding is over. Then we can break up or whatever. He sits back in his chair, his eyes wide and his mouth open a bit. It seems that my idea has taken him a bit by surprise. To be honest, it has taken me by surprise. It must be the wine. The wine has great ideas. That sounds like fun. It'll be just like when we were kids, when we pretended to be married. Until I beat you at baseball, and you divorced me. So what happens when I am your boyfriend? Well, we hold hands, and you have to dance with me at the reception. He nods. I think I can do that without throwing up. You might even have to kiss me, but you don't have to use your tongue. He almost spits his wine out on me. That is the second time tonight he's done that. Is there something wrong with your throat? You seem to have a hard time drinking tonight. No, I'm fine. So you object the tongue comment? I suppose you can slip it in if you want. I likely won't get mad. He groans at me, and I smile. I have always enjoyed giving my friends a hard time. Are there any other requirements? 2. No joy riding with Tara until after the breakup at least. And no flirting with the pretty girls at my sister's wedding. Can I flirt with the ugly ones? No flirting at all. I can live with that, I guess. My parents already consider you to be family, since we've been friends for so long. Just be careful. They might hijack you and try to make it a double wedding. He pretended to shudder in terror. You're a jerk. You know that? I do my best. He picks up his wine glass and says, "To us." I hold up my glass and echo, "To us." We hold up our wine glasses and take a selfie of our heads together so we can post it on social media. I send the picture out on my Instagram right then. That'll get everyone talking. I guess since I'm your boyfriend, I should pick up dinner. Since I am renting you, I think I should get it. I'll add it to your expenses. By the way, I'm not paying you when you are off duty. You only get paid when you are with me. What if I come over to watch television and I fall asleep? Do I still get paid? Nope. You are very cheap. What can I say? I didn't become a successful woman by paying for services not rendered. He laughs as I blush, realizing what I said. Luke walks me outside and offers to give me a ride home. But I told him that I would just grab a cab. He waits with me until my cab arrives. He gives me a hug and a kiss and helps me into the cab. On the way home, I think about how great his arms felt around me.
Nyla Thomas thought she was getting a simple fake marriage.
Marry me and I'll pay for your grandfather's treatment.
It's just business, right?
Right.
But little did she know the viper's nest she was coming into.
You may try to better yourself, Nyla, but you will never catch up to your betters.
I make the rules, Nyla. You follow them.
They beat her down, took her dignity. What they never expected was
that she would fight back.
I have the missing piece. I own this now. I own all of you now.
come into season 2 of Say Less, I Love You, and find out what happens when you push a woman too far.
Chapter 6. Luke, I've been wrestling for hours with a technical problem on my dating site, and flinging a notebook across the room is the tip-off. Scaring the crap out of Cersei convinces me. I'm sorry, sweet girl. Come here. I pat my thigh. Come on. But she doesn't budge. She's on high alert, looking around for an intruder, her eyes big. Oh, I'm sorry. I walk over to her bed and fall on my knees. I wrap her in my arms and stroke the top of her silky head. I'm rewarded with a lick on my cheek, which of course makes me feel even more guilty. I give her a treat from the box I keep in a desk drawer, pat her head, and get on Facebook to ask a couple tech-head friends for advice. While I'm there, I enter Aaliyah Evans in search and scroll through dozens before I find her. I click to friend her, then jump over to Instagram. My jaw drops. The selfie we took is right on top, and the likes and comments must be in the hundreds. I stare at the photo, and for once I'm not looking at myself. Aaliyah is stunning. I think back. It's only been a few years. Did she change something? I zoom in and out a few times. No, that's the Aaliyah I've always known. Was I so used to her that I just didn't realize how damned gorgeous she is? Or was I so intent on not being attracted to her that I didn't let myself notice? She might have whitened her teeth, I decide. Braces? Possible, though I don't remember exactly what her teeth looked like. But in this pic, she's grinning and her teeth are perfect. Were they always so perfect? And I guess she's styling her hair differently. It's sleek and straight now, rather than the masses of unruly waves she usually wore in a ponytail. But it's still that shiny chestnut brown that matches her eyes perfectly. A sudden ping tells me I have a Facebook message, and I switch over. Aaliyah has accepted my friend request and sent a private message. I pull up Messenger. Aaliyah. So I guess we're friends. Luke. Looks that way, doesn't it? Aaliyah. I think I can cope. Luke. So what's going on? Aaliyah. Ugh, bridal shower. Luke. What's with the ugh? Boots for Rachel's shower gift? Aaliyah. Lol, no, but I'll give her the boot if she starts with the who is your date thing again. Luke, can't be that bad. Aaliyah. Ha, she's merciless. Friends are even worse. Luke, they won't complain if I'm your date. Aaliyah, want to make a bet? Luke, just tell them he's tall, dark, and handsome. Keep them guessing. Aaliyah, right, Mr. Humble himself. Luke, L. Humble Adams at your service. Aaliyah, haha. I have to run or I'll be late. Luke, drive. It's faster. Ancient Chinese secret. Aaliyah, groan. I lean back and scroll through a few Facebook posts, then switch back over to IG. I click on her website link. Once again, the shock of knowing her yet not knowing her zings through me. This is Aaliyah. Bratty kid Aaliyah turned to brainy teenager. Aaliyah turned to fashion icon Aaliyah. I click on random blog posts and scan over subtitles and photos. Most of the photos are of Aaliyah modeling her idea of the perfect outfits for special occasions, ski resorts, tropical vacations, cruise wear, and various types of parties. I shake my head. If I spotted her on a magazine cover in the grocery store checkout aisle, I'd figure she's just another famous model. But I'd have to peek inside, which I almost never do, no matter who's on a cover. She's not the typical skin and bones model, though. She's more of an athletic type, but with a classic hourglass figure. Amazing. I check the list of blog post categories and spot bridal. I click, and that brings me to bridesmaids, bachelorette parties. Click. Some morbid part of me wants to know what women do at these affairs. I've heard the stories. What Aaliyah suggests they wear is just icing on the cake. The main photo features a group of attractive women laughing and covering their mouths in shock as a male stripper enters the room. He's good-looking, of course, complete with the required six-pack abs and muscles so big and defined, he looks like a caricature. Aaliyah's not in it, and looking closer, I figure it's probably a stock photo. But it gives me an idea. If I'm going to be Aaliyah's boyfriend instead of the same old BFF who happens to be a guy, to act as her wedding date, Rachel and friends will need some convincing. Why wouldn't they think Aaliyah's just relying on me to be her male escort? It's been a pattern for so long. Why would anything change? What's changed, though, is the passage of a few years. And I'm not the same guy I used to be, which her friends definitely noticed in my photo. But it's not just on the outside. It's who I am on the inside, too. I used to be so shy it was pathetic. Nobody would ever guess because I always covered it up with my jokes and bravado. Even bragging was part of it sometimes. I acted tough. What choice did I have? I'm still a jokester, but that's not all I am. I'm not afraid to show more of the real me these days. Not afraid to take risks or be vulnerable. It's a choice I made a while back. I was so sick of feeling self-conscious and insecure that I laid out some goals. Get in shape, take better care of myself, make goals, and stick with them. Starting the date-for-hire business is one of the results of my newfound self-confidence. And now, why be the same old Luke the loser, Aaliyah's default date? Why not just tell her friends that I'm her boyfriend? That I'm the reason she doesn't have another guy as a date? I've never been one to crash a party, but there's a first time for everything.
Chapter 7. Aaliyah. Someone get the door, please. The tower of dishes I'm carrying wobbles when the doorbell startles me. Whoa! I stop, let it sink a little deeper into the crook of my shoulder, and reposition my hand on top before I restart my journey from the kitchen to the dining room. The dishes are hot, fresh out of the dishwasher, and I'm breaking a sweat as I bend my knees in front of the long table. Here, let me help you with that. My mother rushes over and reaches toward my leaning tower of plates. I almost scream. Don't touch. Wait, let me set it down first. I finally position the wobbly stack on the table's edge and nudge it forward. There. Now you can take some off the top. You should have taken 2 trips, Aaliyah. Haste makes waste. My mother clucks her tongue as she arranges her best china in little stacks. I know. But we're running late. Who was at the door? Just the cake delivery? I had him put the cake right on the cake table. Great. I look up, and there it is at the far end of the room. An enormous white box, decorated with little flowers. I think they gave us a wedding cake. My mom laughs. Yvette? Can you unwrap the cake, please, and arrange the cake dishes around it? Yvette is one of the hired servers from the catering company, and so far she's been an angel. Sure. Thanks. I'm checking off my list and making the final touches when the doorbell rings again. Gah! I'll get it. You'd better get upstairs and change. My mom has already switched out her slacks and apron for a dressy skirt and blouse, and I'm way behind schedule. I rush up the stairs to what was once my bedroom. It was nice of my mom to host Rachel's bridal shower here and help out, but half the time was spent chatting and catching up. Still, it's the perfect setting. The wedding is formal, and my parents' house is kind of formal too, especially the dining room. I hear the doorbell again, and I quickly shower and change into the outfit I brought. It's perfect. A flowing jumpsuit in a muted hot pink. It looks more like a matching skirt and snug-fitting sleeveless top, though due to the wraparound belt that hangs down and covers the separation of the wide-legged pants. The mirror tells me it's a great choice as I arrange the belt carefully. The V-neck is flattering, and a string of pearls is the perfect touch. I clamp on a matching pearl-encrusted bracelet and quickly style my hair. A bit of bronzer, a little eyeliner and mascara, and I'm all set. I'm almost to the door when I realize I'm barefoot. I dig in my bag and slip on my strappy heels, and I take a final look in the mirror. I can't help but think of Luke. What does he see when he looks at me? I sigh and head for the stairs. Luke. The real question is, what do I see when I look at him? He's changed. A lot. Hi. Hello. How are you? The downstairs rooms are packed with guests already. Yvette and the other server are handing out beverages and offering hors d'oeuvres, and my mom is chatting up an old friend of Rachel's. Since I'm the host, I'm answering the door, welcoming everyone, and getting them settled in the living room for the main event. Rachel's on the sofa with her bridesmaids. I can't believe that Instagram photo. Aaliyah, you look gorgeous. Who's the guy? It's one of Rachel's bridesmaids. I smile and try not to laugh. He's the guy I'm seeing. He'll be my date for the wedding. Right, Aaliyah, Rachel pipes up. You know he looks a lot like Luke. That he does. I decide to go along with whatever they say. No point in getting defensive or arguing. It is Luke besides. I love your outfit, Aaliyah. The pink really complements your hair. This comes from another bridesmaid who's also a big fan of my blog. Thanks, Amy. It's really comfy too. I'll have to do a write-up. So where'd you meet that guy? He's gorgeous. I mentally take back the credit I gave her for not mentioning it. That's for me to know and you to find out. I give her a wink and a smile and turn to the other guests. But it's the same thing, over and over. I guess it's the price to pay for going public with my personal life, but I know I'd get razzed regardless. As I move through the shower guests and make sure everyone's well fed and happy, I overhear bits and pieces. Do you think she's finally met a guy she'll settle down with? Sounds too good to be true if you ask me. I think the pic is photoshopped. You know, her photo on top of some models and all fixed up to make it look real. I pretend I don't hear it, and I promise myself that if anyone makes one more comment to me directly, I won't answer. I'll pretend I didn't hear it. My prayers are answered when it's time for Rachel to sit in her throne and open gifts. All eyes are on her as she gasps and smiles and inspects the gifts and cards. Cameras and cell phones are flashing, of course, and I finally feel like I'm having fun. The doorbell rings just as someone hollers, "Say cheese." Rachel laughs as she holds up a lacy negligee and garter belt set. "I'll get it," Yvette announces as she hurries by. I can't imagine who it might be. I thought everyone showed up except for one friend who canceled yesterday due to a sick baby. A hush comes over the room as Yvette opens the door. "I'll bet it's a stripper," someone whispers, and a smattering of laughter breaks out. I set my drink down and stand. This is really my responsibility, and I head over to the door. Yvette glances back, a helpless look on her face. "Who is it?" I step to her side and pat her on the shoulder as I look out the door. "It's me. Luke, can I come in?"
Chapter 8. Luke. Part of me is nervous about crashing a bridal shower, and the other part wants to bust up laughing. And when Aaliyah steps into the doorway, the look on her face is priceless. Her mouth becomes an O, and she blinks rapidly more times than I can count. "Remember me?" I laugh. I can't help it. "Luke?" "Yep, that's what they call me. Can I come in?" She blinks again. Yeah, I guess. I mean, what are you doing here? This is like a girl thing, you know? I know. I lower my voice and lean in. I just want to clear things up for you. No worries. Okay, I guess. She steps aside and I step in. I've been here so many times it's like my second home, or was. And it's easy to get comfortable. "Don't let me hold up progress," I tell the women, looking around and making eye contact with as many as possible. Rachel's seated in an enormous chair, surrounded by wrapping paper and boxes, and her eyes are as big as Aaliyah's. I search for an empty seat, but it looks like they're all taken. The girl who answered the door rushes in with a folding chair and places it near the sofa where Aaliyah's mom is seated. "Why, hello there. Luke, this is a surprise." She doesn't seem nearly as shocked as the other guests, but maybe with age you learn to hide it. She's looking me up and down, that's for sure. "Hope I'm not disturbing anyone." I flash her a grin, and she smiles back. We always got along great, and I know I can trust her to go along with my plan. "Hey, everyone." Aaliyah stands at my side. "This party's about Rachel, remember? And she's not done opening her gifts. So let's get on with it, shall we? You'll have a chance to meet the, newcomer shortly." I see some shrugs and smiles as someone hands Rachel a gift. She's grinning now. She recognizes me, of course, but I'm not sure her grin is a good thing or not. Gradually, the guests relax and focus on Rachel, but later they'll be all over me like a swarm of bees. Aaliyah unfolds a chair and sits next to me. She gives me the look that means she wants an explanation. I smile and hold up a finger. She'll find out shortly. With everyone else as Rachel opens another gift, but I'm listening too. Someone whispers that I must be the model Aaliyah hired to act as her date, since I look like the photo on her Instagram account. Why are people so damned mean? Rachel opens the last gift and Aaliyah tells everyone to head to the dining room for food and drink refills. What's going on? She pretends to wipe something from my jacket lapel as she whispers. I actually dressed up, and I know I'm looking as good as I can get. I'm your boyfriend, remember? Sudden inspiration hits me and I lean in and kiss her on her lips. Shh. Just play along, okay? She nods, speechless, as we're surrounded by a pack of women led by Rachel. Dude, what in the world are you doing at my bridal shower? It's nice to see you, of course, but... Just like Aaliyah, she wants an explanation. Of course. Well, I haven't been around for a while, and since Aaliyah and I are pretty close these days, I figured I'd stop by. What? Well, she mentioned some confusion about her date for your wedding. And since I'm her date and also her boyfriend, I thought I'd stop by to clear things up. You've got to be joking. No, he isn't. Aaliyah's arm slides around me. I can't help but smile and glance at her. She's smiling too, and looking at me in a way that makes my heart skip a beat. Aaliyah has used you for dates so many times I can't count. So, whatever. It's Rachel again, looking annoyed. Aaliyah has never used me for anything, Rachel. When you're committed to someone, you do things and go places with them. Right? I guess so, Rachel mutters. Are you the guy in the pic on Instagram? I recognize one of Rachel's friends. The very same. Wow, are you a model or something? I laugh. An entrepreneurial tech dweeb is more like it. I can't believe it. Aaliyah's actually serious about you? I mean, you were always just a friend, and now she's practically famous. Rachel again. We've always been serious. Look, she's running a successful online business, and so am I. I grossed over $1 million last year, and it's growing. I work behind the scenes, whereas Aaliyah's front and center, but it's the same thing. We're like business partners almost. Someone else says, wow, and I wrap my arm around Aaliyah. So that's that. I'm her date. I'm her boyfriend. And there's no model hiring or hokey-pokey stuff going on. Any questions? I give everyone a big grin and spot her mother in the background, smiling. I turn to Aaliyah. I can't believe these lovely ladies have been teasing you about your relationship status. There's nothing wrong with choosing to be single if that's what someone wants. I brush a stray lock of hair from her face. And when you have someone in your life that you care about, you accompany them wherever they're going. I don't see what the problem is. Aaliyah laughs. He's totally right, you guys. Why didn't you tell us you guys were serious? Rachel demands. Aaliyah shrugs. I didn't realize it was such a big deal to you. I grab Aaliyah's hand, and we answer still more questions as we mingle and sip drinks. Finally, the guests turn to other topics. Can I give you a ride back to your apartment? I'm guessing you took the metro. Sure, let's get out of here. The ride isn't long, and we laugh like we always have over the whole thing. It's so familiar. I've stood up for her just as often as she's defended me. But when I walk her to her door, I'm not sure what to do. This is only supposed to be temporary, but somehow... Thanks, Luke. You're the best. Aaliyah's eyes are big and warm as she gives me a quick hug and pulls back. I don't move a muscle as she looks in my eyes, her hands still on my arms. Every cell in my body longs to kiss her, but I can't. It was for show at the party, but now... I can't finish the thought because her lips are on mine, hungry, pressing hard. I part my lips and let her in. It's about time, and we kiss for what feels like hours, taking turns as giver and receiver. It's so new and so natural at the same time. And when she takes my hand, I follow. She leads me right to her bedroom and strips her clothes off. I hesitate for only a moment, only because I want to be sure of what she wants. And then she's in my arms. Finally, after all this time. Aaliyah.
Chapter 9. Aaliyah. My brain is fuzzy as my fingers fly over the keyboard. I'm barely awake, but my routine works great for me. Wake up, make coffee, post something on my blog, and bam. The most important task of the day is done. One of Rachel's bridesmaids has already sent me photos from the bridal shower, and a couple with me in my pink jumpsuit are good enough to publish. I sip my coffee and scroll up to the beginning to proofread, but what I've written so far doesn't even make sense. Maybe I should break the routine, just this once. Go back to bed. I am still in my pajamas. Might as well. I curl up and wrap my arms around a pillow. The pillow we both shared when that Luke, slept on, though it was just a brief nap before he left. I shake my head. No, it was a dream. It had to be. Luke and I don't go there. We have a wall between us. The never-mentioned, always-accepted boundary that's the dividing line between friends and lovers. I look around my room. My bed is never this messy. The blankets are a mass of twisted textures, with white sheets intertwined. A glass of water sits on the nightstand I never use, and something is draped on my overstuffed chair. I get up to inspect. It's his tie. He forgot his tie. I catch a faint whiff of cologne, and I bury my nose in it before wrapping the deep blue silk around my neck. Did we really break down that wall? Did we cross over that line? I rub my arms and stretch my legs. Sore muscles tell me that yes, we did. More than once. Most of the night. And in the shower. I can't describe it. Incredible. Amazing. Like nothing I've ever experienced. Like two puzzle pieces that fit together so perfectly, you can't tell where one ends and the other begins. I can't stop smiling. But what in the world was I thinking? Was that last drink stronger than it should have been? I can't blame Luke, that's for sure. This one is all on me. Then again, he could have said no. I wonder what he's thinking as I shower and get dressed. He kissed me so tenderly when he left, he couldn't possibly be unhappy. But could he be having regrets now? I don't know how I feel. Maybe awkward is the word. I'm tired, but I have to stop thinking about him. I have work to do. I tackled the blog post again, but after revising a few paragraphs, I head over to Instagram. I have a message from Luke, and my heart races. He's your best friend, Aaliyah. I remind myself. Yeah, but... Hey, sleepyhead. Hey, we still friends? Of course. Must be something in the water. Yeah. Or maybe Rachel spiked my drink. LOL, it was my suit. It drives the women crazy. Right, Mr. Humble. I didn't notice it. Ha, you were too busy tearing it off. Ha, back at ya. You took it off yourself. I did? You did. Don't think any harm's been done. You? I'm good. A romp in the hay with a friend is good for world peace. So that's what's all over my suit jacket. Hey, who knew? You scoring dates for all the lonely people today. Sure am. You? Blog post to write, photos to post. Social media, the usual. Busy. Had an email invite from Rachel's fiancé. Bachelor party. Serious? Yeah. Don't know the place, but figure I'll go. What's it called? Don't know. Dina something. Della Bella. I forget. Cool. Talk soon? Of course. Bye. Bye. I press my hands to my hot face. Intellectually, I know Luke is still the same best friend I've always had. Of course. But my body is telling me something else. It's like I'm crushing on someone I just met. It's brand new territory, and that's why I can't think of anything else. And that bachelor party? Everyone knows what guys do for bachelor parties, or at least there's the stereotype. and Rachel's fiancé fits the picture. He's nice enough, and I like him, but he's a party boy through and through, and probably the type to call weekend grilling or cleaning up after a Super Bowl party his contribution to housework. I make a note to call Rachel later on, and I check email. More photos, this time from my mom. I'd hardly noticed her after the shower got underway, and I'll have to thank her for all the help. I click through some group photos and stop. I can't believe it. It's a close-up of Luke kissing me. I buzz through the rest, and they're all of me and Luke. Each shot is so perfect, it looks like a professional took it. And Luke is positively gorgeous. My mom must have had her Nikon ready with the zoom attached. She's an amateur photographer, and she's great with landscapes and flowers, but I didn't know she could do candids like these. No wonder I didn't notice her. She was hiding behind her camera. I study the photos again. A 3/4 length shot shows off my outfit and Luke's suit perfectly. His arm is around me, and I'm looking up at him as if I'm intentionally posing just as his lips touch mine. That's it. That's my blog post. Perfect bridal shower outfits for her and him. I download the photo, resize it, and upload it to my blog. And my fingers fly. This jumpsuit is so easy to dress up or down, and it's appropriate indoors or out during the warmer seasons. And for the man who dares to crash the party, an unstructured linen suit in, surprise, navy blue not only looks sharp, it's lightweight and breathable to keep you cool. A few more details and I click publish. Click, 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 and the post is up on all my social media pages, including Instagram. I lean back and exhale. Now what? This is it, baby. This is what you can get me that'll make me happy.
You know I'll get you whatever you want. All you need to do is ask me and I'll give it to you.
This ain't just it. This is everything I could ever want.
Now I'm curious. What does a strong, sassy woman like yourself want so badly?
Baby, you know what I want?
I can't wait to hear.
The Big Baddie Bundle from Tyler Walker. It has everything I need.
20 ebooks with over 1 million words of sassy romance and spice that'll keep you on your toes.
10 audiobooks containing over 60 hours of that seductive voice telling me naughty things all night long.
You don't need an audiobook for that, baby. Right here.
You may be fine and all, but no one tells it like the way Miss Tyler does. And I need her in my life.
The Big Baddie Bundle is everything you need. You can get it for 80% off.
Go to tylerwalker.com to browse the bundles that earn you the best deals.
It's time you treat yourself. Because you deserve it.
Escape your life with Miss Tyler.
Chapter 10. Luke. I'm not the type of guy who takes advantage of every opportunity to hook up with women. In fact, I'm pretty fussy. Not inexperienced, not by any stretch, but I like to get to know a woman a little before even thinking about going further. So I've had some pretty great sessions, especially since I lost weight and got my life on a better track. But Aaliyah... I shake my head. I didn't know it could be that good. I don't know what the difference was, but it just seemed so natural, so easy. We know each other. We don't even have to talk. Just a look or a gesture or the tone of her voice says so much. And I know she reads me just as easily. I shake my head. Damn, but she was great. I had no idea she's so sensual. Inventive. Uninhibited. My best friend. We joked about it on messaging, and I guess we treated it as a one-time event, but I can't picture not being with her again. I wanted to be with her again, and not just as friends. The bachelor party is tonight, and I have to hurry or I'll be late. I grab a casual tie and knot it loosely, then throw on the same jacket I wore to the bridal shower. It's casual enough for jeans and boots, and I can always take the tie off if it's overkill. Eric, the best man for Rachel's fiancé, sent me directions for the party. The name itself announces the entertainment, Delissa's Den, a gentleman's club. Anyone knows a gentleman's club means strippers, and most of this place's business is probably bachelor parties. Supposedly, it's the last chance for a soon-to-be wed man to openly leer at near-naked women and get wasted drunk. It's not my thing, but I'll manage. The venue looks surprisingly upscale, and I park in the adjacent parking lot, though valet service is available. I need to walk and stretch. Between the action last night and a day of sitting for work, I'm stiff and sore. I need to loosen up. The party's in the back, and I see some familiar faces right away. Hey, Luke, we're back here! 20, maybe 25 guys are kicked back and relaxed, beer mugs and shot glasses already collecting. I grin and wave. I know Rachel's fiancé and his best man, though not well, plus it's been years. But they can't have changed much. Guys are guys, at least at a party like this one. Hey, Tom, long time no see. And Eric, how are you? Thanks for the invitation, man. We shake hands as Tom jokes about the horrors of marriage. What about you, Luke? How did you meet Aaliyah? Oh, I think our initial meeting was in a sandbox, or maybe in a blow-up swimming pool. What? Tom looks at Eric. Eric shrugs. We've known each other since we were kids. Oh, that explains it. A couple other guys join our little circle. I remember seeing you at Rachel's house, one guy says. Back in high school, I was in a study group with her. Just wondering, what do you see in Aaliyah? She's always so stuffy and serious, you know? I shake my head. She's not like that at all. She's hilariously funny, kind, and considerate. Hard worker, too. Very successful in business. She's probably way over your head, pal. Well, she is gorgeous. That she is, my man. That she is. Another guy pipes up. How long have you two been together? Well, more than friends. That is none of your business. I feel like a celebrity, and this is the paparazzi. I laugh and slap Tom on the back. I'll be back. Couple people I want to see. Wait, it's Eric. My girlfriend says she saw you on Aaliyah's blog today. What's up with that? I hesitate. I don't know anything about it. Tell her to ask Aaliyah. I flash him a grin, and that's the end of that. I make the rounds and catch up with a few classmates and guys I hardly know, and I meet others. The show hasn't started yet, and I chat up the guys at the back tables. I figure they're either married or like me, not really into this and with no plans to get anywhere near the strippers. The lights dim, and an MC appears in a spotlight on stage. I grab a beer from the tray a scantily clad server holds, and I head for the back and settle in. Aaliyah. She's out of my mind for a few minutes, and then she's back. I'd much rather see her stripped than some stranger, and maybe we can work something out. Not for stripping, of course, though I wouldn't say no. But maybe, just maybe, we could amend the terms of our friendship. Maybe we could do a friends with benefits sort of thing, casual, no obligations. When the mood strikes, no commitments. The lights start flashing, the hooting starts, and the show's on. And I have to get out of here. I sidle out along the back wall, make my way through the crowd, and nobody notices when I push the front door open. Cool, fresh air flutters my jacket as I jog back to my car. I hit the Instagram button on my cell phone and message Aaliyah, hoping she's not too busy to notice. Hey there. Hi, I escaped. Alcatraz? No, silly, the bachelor party. Oh, why? Guess it, no clue. Does gentlemen's club mean anything to you? Oh, that. Yeah, not into it. If anyone asks, I had a cold coming on or something. Sure. No problem. So what's up? I was thinking. Newsflash. Aha. Thinking maybe we could make a change in our friendship status. I think that already happened. Right. But maybe we could make that happen again. I'm game. You are? Yep. Any opposition to a friends with benefits type of thing? Is a contract involved? Only if you want one. I think an oral agreement would work. I'd have to agree. That's not what I meant. But you said it. Just slipped out. Freudian thing. A cigar is a cigar. I disagree. But you do agree that might be possible? Definitely. Not sure how it works, though. It works pretty well, as you have seen it. You're so bad. That's not what you were yelling last night. OMG. I'll be in touch. Hope so. That's not what I meant. Haha, you said it. You're so bad. Talk soon.
Chapter 11. Aaliyah. I'm not really sure about the friends with benefits arrangement. I've heard of it, of course, and I've had the impression it's pretty common, but I could never imagine myself in one. It just seems too complicated. Do we date other people? Is there an expectation of how often we get together? When is it just friends and when is it benefits time? How does hanging out as friends work out if we end up in bed? And if it's an open sort of thing, and dating other people is just fine, then how in the world could I? No. There's no way I could do it with him knowing he might have been with someone else. Would Luke even do that? Maybe I should tell him no. Tell him I thought about it, but I just can't do it. Then again, just thinking about him is getting me turned on. And we've already crossed the line, so technically, we're already friends with benefits. And I wouldn't mind having some more. I thought I knew Luke inside and out, but now it's like I've barely touched the surface. Who would have guessed my best friend could be so incredibly good in bed? Now I'm wondering where he got all the experience. It's not like anyone is born knowing how to be a great lover. You have to practice. I laugh. He's probably wondering the same thing about me. He almost seemed shocked a few times, especially when I took the lead with a few things. We've always been competitive, pushing, pulling, advancing, and retreating, but in a joking way. Win some, lose some, tease a lot. It doesn't go deep because we're too committed to our friendship, or maybe our parents taught us to respect each other and know the limits. I know that's how I am with my girlfriends, and I always notice when somebody goes over the boundaries I was brought up with. It doesn't usually bother me much, but it's not how Luke and I treat each other. I dig deep in a closet and pull out an old shoebox stuffed with photos from when we were kids. I haven't looked at them in years. I flip through quickly, but stop at the ones I love the most. Luke's 13th birthday. He's gangly and a total dork, waving a cell phone around. It's one of those little things that flip open. The kind that were popular just before the larger touchscreen smartphones were hitting the market. And Luke looks like he hit the jackpot. Me and Luke at a water park, screaming on a tube as we flee off the slide into a pool. I set it aside. Another one with both of us, this time at prom. I can't remember if it was junior or senior prom, but we look every bit like girlfriend and boyfriend. It must be senior, I decide, since I'm super thin. I was running track that year, and I wasn't eating enough. By contrast, Luke looks healthy and hearty, if a bit heavy. That's a good one too. I scan and save them, then pop a CD with digital pics in my laptop. I scroll through, and after a few minutes I find the one I'm looking for. The summer after graduation, his parents' beach house. He got sunburned after falling asleep on the beach, and the next day I had Rachel pull down his shorts as he headed into the waves. I snapped 3 quick shots, and one came out perfect. His butt is pure white, his back is flaming red, and a huge wave is coming right at him as he turns his head to see who the wise ass is. I rolled on the beach, laughing back then, and I can't help but laugh now. I downloaded, zoom in, and crop my sister out of it. A little color adjustment, and I post it on Instagram and my other social media accounts. The comment is simple. Luke Adams, best dressed boy on the beach circa 2010. I laugh so hard tears are rolling down my cheeks as I check for the latest comments and likes on other posts. And then I stop and blink. What is that? Oh my God, it's me. On the same beach but years earlier. I'm in the skimpiest bikini ever invented. My hair is a big bushy mass of waves, and I'm totally flat-chested. Worse, I'm squatting, legs spread wide, behind a giant heart I drew in the sand with the words, Luke plus Aaliyah = best friends forever. I'm cringing after all these years. Gah! And his comment is as simple as mine. Most beautiful babe on the beach, Aaliyah Evans. I'll kill him. He's tagged me everywhere, and the comments and likes are pouring in on Instagram. I buzz through a dozen or so, and most are lighthearted and teasing, thankfully. I'm tempted to find the photo of Luke peeing behind a tree while on a hike. It was a school thing, a field biology class, but I think twice. That's going too low. Instead, I post the prom photo. Classic elegance is always in style. You can't go wrong with a gorgeous guy like this. I make the rounds again and check for comments. A few are coming in, and I have a DM on Instagram. It's Luke. You're the best. My doorbell rings. I go downstairs and look through the peephole. What? It's Luke, tapping on his cell phone. I unlock the door and swing it open. You're kidding me. He looks up, grinning. Nope. Can I come in? Oh my God, of course. What in the world? It's just me, best friend forever. You know. I shake my head. I'm totally thrown off course. You're fabulous. Do you know that? I shrug and shake my head at the same time. Our eyes are locked together, and I know exactly what's going to happen. How are you feeling about that friends with benefits thing? I can't get you out of my mind. He's watching me, looking straight at me, like he always does. I'm floating on a cloud and make all sorts of blinks, shrugs, and half laughs before I cover my face in confusion and desire. Gently, he peels my fingers away, and I look my best friend in the eyes, and I nod. His mouth is on mine, and I'm grabbing at him like I'm starving, and he's the dinner. In a flash, he swoops me off my feet and carries me upstairs where we start up, once again, right where we left off.
Chapter 12. Luke, I could get used to this. I stretch my legs out under the kitchen table and pat my stomach. Neither of us have anything big planned, and lazy seems to be the order of the day. Those are some pretty damn good muffins, Aaliyah. Blueberry's my favorite too. I look up and grin. Her hair is a tousled mess, and she looks more like the childhood friend I used to know than the polished businesswoman she is today. Damned good omelet, Luke. I didn't know you could be so inventive. I thought the chair was your idea. Oh my God. Aaliyah almost chokes on her coffee. Your omelet, Luke. Your omelet. Western or Tex-Mex or whatever you called it. I would never think of using a can of chopped tomatoes and all those spices. Plus the green pepper and the cheese. Good thing you had it on hand. Glad you liked it. It was delicious. She smiles and starts clearing the table. I can't help but watch her hips and ass as she walks away. So cute in her striped pajama shorts. More coffee? Aaliyah swirls what's left in the coffee pot and looks up. She raises an eyebrow. Oh, sure. I turn my attention to the plates and start loading the dishwasher. And while Aaliyah wipes the counter, I scrub the frying pan, and kitchen duty is done in short order. I hold up my hand for a high five, and she slaps it. Good job, she says. Teamwork, my friend, teamwork. Let's take the coffee to the living room and split another muffin. Aaliyah grabs one from the plate and gets settled on the sofa, and I'm right behind her. Just like the good old days, isn't it? Aaliyah snuggles into my side. I can't count how many times you had breakfast at my house. And my mom always made you clean up with me and Rachel. She taught you well. I could rebel, you know. Become a manly man couch potato or something. I lean back and stuff a pillow under my shirt. Honey, bring me a beer. Aaliyah cracks up and smacks me over the head with another pillow. Get it yourself! I throw the pillow back and just barely miss a coffee cup. Oops. Aaliyah grabs both and tucks them by her side so I can't reach them. She smooths back her hair and tucks it behind her ears. So, I was wondering, Have you always stared at my ass when I turn around? Or is that a new thing? Her expression is dead serious. It's my turn to choke on the coffee. Aaliyah pounds my back, laughing, while I cough until my throat is clear. So, maybe a little. I cough again. Not much. I mean, I look at your face too. Various other body parts. I glance at her braless chest and her skimpy t-shirt. Like your feet, for example. I look up and grin. Right, but I don't really mind. I've always checked out your, various body parts. She's grinning now. You have? Of course. You saw the photo I put up on my blog, didn't you? I don't know. Which one? Aaliyah heads for her office, comes back with her laptop, and flips it open. Here. She turns it to show me. You didn't! I did. I can't believe she posted a pic of my naked ass on her blog. I saw it on Instagram, but somehow that's different. I look at it from a couple of angles. My face is only partly visible, and I decide it's okay. Well, at least I have a nice-looking ass, if I do say so. Did that wave actually hit me? I don't remember. She's rolling her eyes. It sure did, and serves you right for being so conceited. You were totally wiped out. Your knees were even bloody. I don't think I've laughed so hard since. I was injured, and you laughed. I did. I was probably mad at you for something, but of course I checked to see how badly you were injured before laughing. She's tapping a response to someone on Facebook, so I head for my backpack and pull out my tablet. I tap a few random keys and pretend I'm busy with something as I open the camera. Hey, check this out. Aaliyah looks up and I click. No, don't you dare! She reaches for my tablet, but I hold it close and head for a chair with an evil grin. The photo looks fine, even with her hair sticking out everywhere. I post it on Facebook and tag her. No, I look awful. Take that down right now. I'm laughing so hard I can hardly talk. It's good to let your fans see the real you, don't you think? I catch my breath and take a look. She's gorgeous, actually. It's a fabulous photo. Big smile, a slight flush on her cheeks, and those big brown eyes twinkling, plus a bit of cleavage. But the photo cuts off right there. I suppose it's not that bad, but my hair... She makes a face and turns back to her laptop. Don't worry about it. Look, you're already getting loads of compliments. I guess. I return to the sofa and lean over to kiss her on the cheek. Want to get out of here? We could head over to the park and wander around, feed the ducks, even rent a rowboat. I'd love to. We used to do that a lot. And ride our bikes there and back. You still have your bike? It's not the same bike, but I still ride. And it's not that far to your apartment. We could walk over and pick yours up. Sounds like a plan. And we can take lots of pics and post them everywhere. Aaliyah laughs as we stand up. I wrap my arms around her as she presses her face against mine and sigh contentedly. I could definitely get used to this. And pretending we're a couple in front of her family might not be too hard after all.
Chapter 13. Aaliyah. We're going to be late. The wedding rehearsal starts in half an hour. Where did the time fly? I drove to Luke's apartment to pick him up 2 hours ahead of time, knowing he wanted my input on his outfit. He's going to meet my family as my boyfriend for the first time, and he wants to look his best. But the alarm clock in his bedroom says 3:35, and the rehearsal starts at 4. What? Luke grabs the clock, checks his cell phone, and presses some buttons. When he sets it back on the nightstand, the time is 2:20. Sorry, we had a power outage in the neighborhood last night, he explained, and my alarm clock was blinking and getting on my nerves. I didn't reset it. I just slapped some buttons to make it stop. Phew. I thought I was losing my mind for a minute. I'm just really stressing, and you're not even dressed yet. I eye him up and down. Or shaved. Did you shower yet? He's grinning. Yep, you can check off the shower from your list. See? He turns around and fluffs the back of his hair. It's obviously still damp. I breathe a sigh of relief. I want to leave shaving for last so my face is soft as a peach. I don't want to scratch your mom's face when I hug her, you know. Remember that time? I do. Now let's get something on you. He's in a t-shirt and underwear, and I head for his closet. What were you thinking of? I flip through shirts and jackets, and suddenly his arms are around me. I was thinking of you, actually. He rubs his face in my hair. You smell so good. I lean into him, instantly aroused, and I let out a little of my own as his hands move to my chest. I think you might need a little relaxation, Aaliyah. A bit of a massage. Have I ever given you a massage? His voice is low, barely more than a whisper in my ear. I don't think so. Maybe when I twisted my ankle or something, but that doesn't really count. His hands are still moving, slowly, and I shiver. My breathing has sped up too, and I'm almost panting. We have a little problem, though, he says in the same low voice. Well, we'll have to remove your lovely dress. You don't want it all wrinkled at the rehearsal. You're right. Can't have that. And before I know it, my dress is off and we're on the bed, kissing like we're starved for each other's mouths. Suddenly, I stop. My makeup, I'll have to redo it. And my hair. Shh, relax. I'll kiss you somewhere else. He pulls me to the edge of the bed and slowly trails his lips down my neck, stops at my chest for a moment, and kneels on the floor in front of me. And just when I can't take anymore, he rises up, shifts my body back a little, and sends me to heaven again and again as we hold each other tight and rock into another universe. Hey, beautiful. Luke's pulling strands of hair from my face and smoothing them back with the rest. I open my eyes and smile. I had to lie down for a while, at least until my breathing slowed and heart rate went down. He's looking at me with puppy eyes and smiling the sweet smile I've known almost all my life. I glance at the clock. 3 o'clock. I hate to break up the party, but we really have to get going. I quickly find an outfit for Luke while he showers. Then I take a quick one, get dressed, and touch up my makeup and hair. We make it to the wedding site, a gorgeous historic mansion with acres of lawn and gardens, with a few minutes to spare. I keep thinking how everything feels different, but he's still the same Luke I've always known. And now I'm seeing a part of him I didn't know existed. I can't keep the smile from my face as I introduce him as my boyfriend and my date for the wedding to my family, Rachel's future in-laws, and the wedding party. My mother beams. I knew it, she says. I always knew it. Took you two a long time to realize how perfect you are for each other. My dad laughs and shakes Luke's hand. He's not one to express his feelings unless it's something important, but I can see he's happy. But a recorded version of the wedding processional starts, and there's little time to talk. I wait just inside the mansion doors that lead to the garden, arm-linked with the best man's, and wait for our cue. I can barely make out the musical embellishments, but my mom taps a crystal goblet, and we walk slowly to the spot where the minister will stand. As Rachel and her fiancé practice their walk down the aisle, I spot Luke in the back, smiling, and I smile back. I try not to look at him because I know he'll try to make me laugh, but I can't keep my eyes away. The best man reads his toast, and the praise he heaps on Rachel's fiancé reminds me of Luke. Hardworking, compassionate, friendly, fun-loving. I could add so much more. And when it's my turn, I don't bother with my notes. Instead, I just speak from my heart. Rachel has always been a friend, far more than just a bratty little sister. In fact, she's never been bratty at all. She's always supportive and like my own personal cheerleader. Sure, we've teased each other, and we get on each other's nerves sometimes, but she never holds a grudge, always forgives, always offers to help. And she's just the sweetest, kindest, most wonderful person I know. My eyes shift to Luke, and I realize that what I just said describes him perfectly. And as our eyes lock together, something rises up in me, fills me, and I feel a little giddy. It's something I've never felt before. I think I'm falling in love.
You won't know what hit you, baby. I'm going to take you, break you, and make you mine. And when I'm done, you're...
Now hold on just a minute.
What?
I got something to say.
What's the meaning of this?
Now you may be some fine-looking white boy,
Got that right, baby. It takes hard work.
and you might got the money,
Fat stacks, baby, to spoil you with.
but that doesn't mean I'm going to give it up to you without a fight.
A fight?
You want some limp wilting flowers? Go to historical romance, baby. But you want sassy and spicy strong black queens that tame their alpha male bad boys?
I think our listeners do.
Then you go on and look at Miss Tyla's Bougie Brides and Billionaires audio bundle.
50 hours of me whispering the most romantic things in your ears. Fake marriages, alpha male billionaires, strong black women, steamy scenes that will make your eyes roll back. And everything wrapped up in a happily ever after that will put you in an afterglow.
Use code SAVE40 to get 40% off this bundle and any other digital product in Miss Tyla's store.
Unabridged and uncut.
Just like you,
You're gonna have to find out.
Tyla Walker Romances. Escape your life with sassy romance.
Chapter 14. Luke. We're quiet on the way back to my apartment. That's something I've always liked about Aaliyah. She's not the type to fill every moment with chit-chat. We're both talkative at times, of course, but we're comfortable with silence, too. The rehearsal was fun, but a little draining after a while, especially since I don't know the groom's side of the family. I'm familiar with a few of his friends, but they're not the kind of guys I'd normally hang out with. And though it was lighthearted, they gave me a bit of tear down for leaving the bachelor party early. Though they didn't notice until intermission. Back at my apartment, she drops me off at the door, saying she needs her beauty sleep for the wedding tomorrow. I could use a good night's sleep too, so there's no argument there. A long hug and a kiss, and we go our separate ways. I can't stop thinking about her, though. I was impressed by the toast she gave completely off the cuff. It was pretty long, too, and she went deep. I change into shorts and a t-shirt and pour a glass of beer before I kick back on the sofa and turn the TV on. I try to remember what she talked about. It was something about the purpose of our lives, the choices we make, and how we spend our time. One part was particularly interesting. She said that we are the sum of the 5 people we spend the most time with. And when we marry someone, that person will be the #1 influence in our lives, for better or for worse. She encouraged her sister and her fiancé to remember that their words and actions affect the other, and it will always come right back to them in positive or negative ways. I couldn't help but think of how, when I'm with her, I almost always feel good, positive, happy, appreciated. And because she treats me with respect and kindness, I feel wanted, accepted, and it helps me treat her the same way. It's not like the way she treats me dictates how I treat her. I try to do right by everyone most of the time, but she brings out my best and makes it easy to give it right back to her. Not that I've been perfect. Far from it. I've been a complete asshole at times, angry and upset with her for stupid reasons. I even called her a few names that I wasn't proud of later on. But I always felt bad real quick and apologized as soon as I could. I wasn't always successful at explaining what my problem was, mainly because I didn't know. I was too young, but she always forgave me. And hell, I forgave her for plenty of things too, including the same stupid name-calling stuff. And we learned a lot from it. By the time we were in high school, we rarely had a stupid, senseless argument. We disagreed, sure, and sometimes tempers flared. But we learned how to respect the other's opinion or action and just accept it, not take it as a personal offense. I take a swig of beer and buzz through the TV channels looking for something good. I decide on a movie instead, grab another beer, and put my feet up. It's a good one, and though I've seen it before, it's worth watching again. I start thinking how Aaliyah's been on my mind way too much lately, and it's distracting at work. I've been checking her Instagram feed far too often and spending more time on social media than I should. And sometimes I just can't think straight. I thought I was just stressed with the business, but it's Aaliyah on my mind. It's a lot of work to keep the business going, and I'll have to work my ass off to catch up when this little arrangement is over. I watch the movie for a while when the action picks up. But as it dies back down, Aaliyah pops back into my head. I grab my tablet and scroll through all the photos we took at the park and post it on social media. I laugh at the one with Julie sitting on the branch of a tree, the same tree she used to climb years ago. Julie in the rowboat using the oar like a kayak paddle and looking puzzled. Both of us squatting down, surrounded by ducks and the cracked corn we bought to feed them. And the one of me, mock terrified by a sweet little goat at the petting zoo, gets me laughing again. What a fun day. And the intercourse, it's amazing. This afternoon was so charged, so intense, it was just otherworldly. It's kind of unreal to share this part of me with someone I've been just friends with all my life. And it's even more unreal to discover this side of her, to see her naked, to touch and kiss and caress every part of her body and discover her reaction. It's like uncovering the real Aaliyah, the Aaliyah I never knew, and to think I never realized how passionate she is. How could I not have guessed or even considered it? And it's been right in front of me all this time. I wonder what we'll do after the wedding. This was only an arrangement to get her family and friends to quit bugging her about her dateless status. And maybe we could do the friends with benefits thing, but I don't think I'd want to know if she's seeing someone else on the side. She'd have a right to in that scenario, but I wouldn't like it. And how often do we get the benefits? Maybe we shouldn't end it. Maybe we should just see how it goes. I'll discipline myself better at work and put a padlock on social media. Maybe you get together only on the weekends. She has to work too, after all. But what I want to do right now, more than anything, is wrap my arms around Aaliyah, make love to her, and hold her tight until she's fast asleep. And imagining that makes me so warm inside, so happy. Am I in love with her? I send her a quick DM. Dinner tomorrow night?
Chapter 15. Aaliyah. I didn't understand why Luke made dinner reservations so early until he picked me up and headed for the interstate highway. I hadn't questioned it either, but his plan to pick me up at 5:30 p.m. made me think it was an early dinner. It wasn't. We're headed for the city and a four-star restaurant known for its food and ambiance as well musical entertainment. No wonder he suggested I might want to dress up. He looks sharp in his suit pants and perfectly pressed white shirt with simple cufflinks. His watch is obviously expensive, though modest, and his suit coat and hanging on a hook in the back. I'm doing the basic little black dress. It's special, though, because it features just one long sleeve and a curvy neckline that blends right into it. An underwire sewn-in bra keeps the other side up, and a simple fake diamond necklace matches my real diamond earrings perfectly. Strappy spike heels in black leather, with red outer soles and tiny spikes on the straps, complete the look. "You're beautiful," Luke says when I answer the door. I smile. This outfit is so me, and it gives me so much confidence. Dinner is out of this world. We're seated at a cozy little table for two, not far from the dance floor, and an old-fashioned big band ensemble is playing softly. Candles are at every table, and recessed lighting near the ceiling gives the large room a soft glow. It's so romantic I feel like it's Valentine's Day. I finally place my flatware at the edge of my plate and move it slightly forward. On top of the appetizers, it's too much, though the portions weren't huge. I sip my wine and watch Luke as he finishes the last of his steak. My choice was a broiled seafood combination, and Luke said his steak is incredibly tender and perfectly cooked. He looks up at me and smiles. "So what brought this on, Luke? It's fabulous, of course, and I feel like royalty." He chews a little more and takes a sip of wine before speaking. I don't know. I just felt like taking you out on a proper date. I haven't had one in ages, and it's about time. I laugh. Glad to help you out, Mr. Self-Centered. That's what they call me. He grins, but I can tell there's more to it than that. Is he feeling what I'm feeling? The band picks up the beat and the volume, and our waiter clears the table. Another waiter presents a dessert tray, and we decide to share a piece of deep, dark chocolate cake. An assistant hurries off to fetch it, and I can't help but tap my foot to the music. Would you like to dance? Luke grins. You know I'm not the greatest, but I think we can manage. I was hoping he'd ask. Sure. Only one other couple is dancing so far, but that gives us plenty of room. Luke holds out his arms, and he whisks me away. He's so easy to follow, and he's a lot better than he thinks he is. He's not Fred Astaire, but for once he's humble. The music changes, and I recognize an old song my mother loves, though it's been rearranged at a much slower tempo. Luke holds me close as we dance to the strains of Love is Everywhere, and I get that Valentine's Day feeling again. Too much is happening. Too fast. I'm falling in love with him, and I know it, and it's getting too deep and too complicated. But why should I resist? Why should I be frightened? It's Luke, after all. I can trust him. He's my best friend. What more could I possibly want? He's looking at me in a way that tells me he's riding high on the romance of this place too. And when the song ends, I call it quits. Our dessert is waiting. We hold hands on the way back to our table. That was nice. You dance a lot better than you think you do, Luke. Do you think so? He's beaming. Absolutely. And this cake is amazing too. What a great idea. Thank you. My pleasure. We don't linger long over coffee, and on the ride back, conversation centers mainly on the upcoming wedding, his work and mine. I haven't been getting even half of my usual work done lately, and that has me stressed. He's in the same situation, and we agree we'll have to take a break from seeing each other after the wedding. The ride back seems short, and before I know it, he stops at his apartment. It's on the way to my place, and suddenly I'm overpowered by the thought of being in his arms once again. Want to come up for a drink? I can only nod. He fixes a couple of dry martinis, and we head to the sofa. One sip, one look, and he kisses me gently, softly as he cradles my head in his hands, and I return it, matching his gentleness, continuing the mellow, soft mood of romance. We're only halfway through our drinks before he's leading me to his bedroom. He flicks on a small dim light, and we kiss like tomorrow will never come. Slow, loving, soft and gentle. Then he pulls back as I slowly unbutton his shirt and remove his slacks. Looks like the level of passion in this chapter is pushing YouTube's limit.
It's disappointing, I know. Trust me when I say we want nothing more than to get down to the dirty details.
But releasing these free audiobooks on YouTube means that we have to abide by the rules.
Even though YouTube won't allow us to put something so spicy on the air, you can still find it on TylerWalker.com.
Miss Tyler has an unbelievable collection of uncut, unabridged audiobooks and ebooks.
For access to the full, unfiltered scene, go to TylerWalker.com and use code SAVE40 for 40% off any digital product.
This is the deal of a lifetime, a discount that can be applied to bundles that are already listed at a discounted price.
You heard that right. It's time for you to treat yourself.
With Miss Tyler.
Chapter 16. Luke. I don't have a specific deadline for that, Mark. How about jumping on it as soon as you can and finish by, I don't know, Friday, I guess. I force a smile on my face and give my technical manager a thumbs up as he heads out. He doesn't look pleased. Why does he need so much babysitting? I'm trying to respond to a dozen new inquiries for dates to hire, and my staff seems to think it's just fine to knock on my door whenever they please. Why don't they understand a closed door means I'm busy? I toss Cersei a treat and she munches it down but looks at me with a worried expression. I know, girl. I'm stressed, but I'll never throw a notebook in this room again, don't worry. No way am I gonna get you stressed again over my crap. I click the auto-respond option that emails a short, friendly email to interested parties so they know we've received their message. But we're super busy and we'll get back to them within 24 hours. There, that's taken care of for now. My head's ready to split open after 3 days of trying to get back on track, and I need a break. I sit on the floor next to Cersei and stroke her head and face and tell her what a good girl she is. The trouble is, I'm no good at juggling a million things at once. Multitasking is some sort of myth, as I've read recently. But it's still considered a top business skill that everyone from assistants to CEOs should have. But I didn't get that gene, and frankly, I don't think anyone else did either. When you're juggling too much, something's going to fall through the cracks, or you're doing a half-assed job with all the stuff you're juggling. The thing is, if I don't get my act together, this boat is going to sink. As it turns out, the marketing expert I hired misrepresented himself by a long stretch, and although his previous employers gave him glowing recommendations, he doesn't understand marketing when it comes to a local, online business. He doesn't know how, or doesn't want to learn, how to target a local audience with social media ads. He doesn't know how to write persuasive ad copy. And I've had to go review almost every task he's taken on since I hired him a few months ago. And now, I'll have to fire him and hire someone new, but I just haven't got around to it. What the hell am I doing? I pat Cersei, close my laptop, and head for the door. I need space. I need to get out of here. Be right back, Cersei. Don't worry. She thumps her tail a few times as I close the door quietly. Out of my office, though, I take the stairs 2 at a time and bust out of the building like a meteor. I need to walk. Clear my head. The sky's dark and cloudy, and a gust of wind gets a speck of dust in my eye. As I try to blink it out, I think of Aaliyah. She's my time suck. That's the problem. I have a business to run, and I'm acting like I'm in high school on summer vacation. Nothing better to do than screw around with a pretty girl and report to a part-time job with little responsibility. How and why did I get involved in this ridiculous scheme of hers? A pretend boyfriend? Why the hell doesn't she just stand up to her family and friends and tell them to mind their own business? Let them think what they want. Who says you need to have a date for a wedding? You can hang out with friends. I've done that and nobody ever teased me about being dateless. A little voice in my head pipes up with a few objections, but I ignore it. I just can't keep up with this charade. It's not like I don't want to see her, but I can't right now. It's just too much. I kick a can off the sidewalk, grab my cell phone, and look around for a place to get out of the wind. There's a covered bus stop half a block away, and I make it just as raindrops hit my face. Aaliyah picks up on the second ring. Hi, Luke. What's going on? She's so enthusiastic I hesitate. But I've got to do this and do it quick before I change my mind. Hey, Aaliyah. Listen, I'm having a hard time here focusing on my business. The truth is, I just don't have time to keep up with our arrangement. I need to... What? I hear the disbelief and confusion in her voice, but keep going. I need to call it off. I need to focus on my work or I'll go out of business. I can barely pay my staff as it is, and they're picking up on my stress level and worry, though I haven't said a thing. The rain's pounding on the shelter and I'm getting wet. I move to the center of the bench and lean back as much as I can. I'm sorry, you won't have to pay a thing, of course not. And Aaliyah, it's nothing to do with you. You know that, right? I just have to get my focus back, okay? Aaliyah! Aaliyah! The connection is dead. Crap. I check my phone. The battery is almost fully charged. The connection is good. Did she hang up on me? Or did she lose the connection? Crap. I type a quick text. Aaliyah, maybe we got disconnected. Making sure you got Mema say you have to focus on work. Can't do this anymore. Sorry. Luke. I shove the phone in my back pocket and head back. forgetting the rain until water's pouring down my face and I can't see anymore.
Chapter 17. Aaliyah, I can't believe this. How could he do this to me? And at the last minute. The wedding's tomorrow. I stare at my phone for a long time. I shouldn't have cut him off, but it was obvious he was making an announcement with no comments allowed. No discussion. What was the point of listening to him go on with his reasons and excuses? The last thing I heard was that I didn't have to pay him. As if that matters. Of course I would have paid him. But backing out of our date means I don't owe him a thing. It's right in the paperwork. If the date doesn't show up, if he's late, or if he's in any way inappropriate or not what you expect, money back, guaranteed. Something has to be wrong. This isn't like Luke, not for something so big and so important. But why? Why can't he just do his work and see me whenever? It's not like I've been forcing him to hang out with me, or begging, or pleading, or even asking. And I thought he was more than a hired date. Stupid me. That restaurant date was his idea after all. Staying overnight at his place was his idea. What gives? I set my phone aside and head to the kitchen, make a cup of tea. It's a gloomy, rainy day, but it's supposed to clear up later on. Tomorrow is supposed to be warm and sunny. I think I know what Luke's going through, though it doesn't excuse him. I haven't been getting much done either, but my business is different. Posting photos on social media just for fun brings in business. Affiliate sales from my website have gone up dramatically in the last week, and even the few pay-per-click ads I run have skyrocketed. It's all about traffic for me. The more blog visitors I get, the more fans I attract, the more money I make. And social media is a big part of it. Plus, I don't have employees to manage like Luke does. Sure, I have a part-time virtual assistant and my webmaster, but he's on call. Other employees are simply contracted individuals, as needed, whether they're freelancers or part of a larger company. I settle on my sofa and stare out the window. What am I going to tell my family? I could make up a story, but I've already lied enough. Maybe I should just come clean. But it's Rachel's big day, and attention should be on her, not me. I could say he'll be late, and when he doesn't show up, I can feign ignorance and pretend I'm calling him. Pretend I'm worried. I'll ignore the comments, change the subject, anything to distract them and focus on the festivities. Festivities? Right. Maybe I should call my mom. She'll know what to do. Or at least she'll cheer me up. I sip my tea. No, I better not say a word. I'll think about it and decide later, since I still have a lot of wedding preparations. I head for my office and review my checklist. My dress is perfectly pressed and ready. I confirmed with all the vendors except the florist. I need to call them and see if the correct boutonnieres were delivered. I had ordered red roses, but they sent white gardenias. Maybe gardenias would have to do. What did it matter anyway? I call my Aunt Lucy to check that she's ready. Her 6-year-old daughter will be Rachel's flower girl, and though she doesn't have much to do, I want her to bring my little cousin's dress to the wedding site and dress her up there. No sense risking her outfit getting messy on the way over. She tells me everything is under control, and I'm worrying too much. I shrug and agree with her. She's probably right. Is everything okay, Aaliyah? You sound tired. Aunt Lucy knows me pretty well. A little. I've been working a lot. Make sure you get a good night's sleep. I will. I set up a table near the door and place items I'll bring. The guest book and pen. The photographs I framed of Rachel and her fiancé at various stages of their lives. The engraved wine goblet, bread basket, and tiny salt shaker for the bread-breaking ceremony. Tears well up in my eyes. The ceremony represents so much. The salt means there will be struggles and hardships, and the wine is for good health, cheerfulness, and friends. And the bread symbolizes things like a fresh start, a clean slate, and forgiveness. How could Luke do this to me? I can't fight back the tears, and all I want to do is curl up in bed. My pillow is cold and wet, and my room is dark when I wake up. Little by little, my swirling thoughts start to make sense, and it all comes back to me. Luke dumped me. Rachel's getting married tomorrow, and I have work to do. I have two choices. I can have a pity party for myself, or I can get to work and make the best of it. The pity party isn't really an option, though, and I throw my legs over the bed and march to the bathroom. I stare in the mirror. My eyes are bright red and so puffy they're almost shut, and on top of that, my head is pounding. Automatically, I reach for my eye drops and a bottle of ibuprofen, but I get an idea. I head back to my office and turn on the lights. I run back to the living room and grab my cold cup of tea. Cell phone in one hand and the cup in the other, I strike a few poses and snap a series of photos. Quickly, I look them over. They're awful. I head for my little photography corner and turn on my light kit. Normally, the 3 big lights cancel out shadows, especially for headshots, but I dim one and make adjustments so I look bad, but not too bad. I position the camera, set it to autofocus and continuous shots, and drag my stool over the X on the floor. When I'm done, I pick 3 perfect shots. They're terrible enough to be convincing, but not hideous enough to freak anyone out. I mix them up on social media, but I post the most pitiful shot on my blog. The headline, Dumped.
Chapter 18. Luke. My frozen burrito is still cold in the middle, and I pop it back in the microwave. I don't feel like eating. I don't feel like doing anything, but I have to eat. I haven't had anything since breakfast, and that was just a cold bowl of cereal. Cersei already had dinner, and she's curled up contentedly on her bed. She got soaked in the rain, too, when I walked her before heading home. No point staying at the office, and now that I'm showered and in dry clothes, the sky is clearing to make way for a beautiful sunset. Red at night, sailor's delight, I mutter. Right. Sailors might be delighted, but I'm kicking my ass for being such an asshole, because that's what I was. A total jerk to my best friend. I shake my head and grab the hot burrito with my bare hand and drop it on a paper plate. Ouch. Serves me right. I should have given it more thought instead of reacting as I did. What would one more day matter in the big scheme of things? Or maybe 2 days. The day after the wedding, I could have sat down with Aaliyah and explained what's going on. I could have told her I need to limit the time we spend together and stick with the friends with benefits arrangement on weekends only, or every other weekend, or skip the benefits and go back to being friends, something like that. Or maybe just take a few weeks away, get my business out of the red and reconsider. Maybe she wouldn't like it, but at least it would be fair. A lot more respectful to someone I call my best friend. I'm such a piece of garbage. I almost laugh as I imagine Aaliyah telling me I'm wallowing in self-pity. I have a habit of doing that, she said, and she's teased me about it more than once. Why should you pity yourself? She told me one time when I did something wrong to someone. I can't remember what it was, but she reminded me that I was the villain, and that my behavior meant someone was hurting. I needed to square my shoulders and apologize, not feel sorry for myself. If anything, I should feel sorry for the other person. I finished my burrito and tossed the plate in the garbage before getting my tablet from my work bag. I flipped through the photos we posted from the park and just about everywhere we've been in the last few weeks. Aaliyah looks so happy and like she's having a blast. She's so open and honest, and she rarely hides her feelings. In one, her expression is so soft and tender. As she looks in my eyes, you'd think she's in love. I look again and shake my head. That can't be, but I'm looking at her in the same way. It's nothing, I decide. We're friends and we were just having fun. I'm tempted to delete all the photos on my accounts, including the ones she tagged with my name, but I decide against it. It's just knee-jerking like I did this afternoon. It can wait. If I really want to delete them, I can do it another time. My Instagram stream is loaded with businesses and posts about online dating, and I scroll for what seems like forever to see if Aaliyah's posted anything today. I stare for a moment. That can't be her. I click on her name, then the photo for a close-up. It looks like her, but what the hell? What happened? Did she have an accident? Is she sick? I check for a comment. One word. Dumped! Oh no. I quickly check Facebook and other sites. Same thing. Different photos. Then I bring up her blog. Oh no, oh no, oh no, runs through my head over and over. Dumped is in capital letters, and there's no post. Just the photo of Aaliyah and the headline. And now I see what's wrong. She's been crying for what looks like days. Her eyes are red and swollen, her hair's a mess, and she looks miserable. I thought since she ended the call that she was pissed off. Nothing more than that. Something manageable, not catastrophic. What was I thinking? Sure, I won't be at the wedding tomorrow, but I didn't dump her. Or did I? I head back to Instagram and read some of the comments. Great. Words like craphead and douchebag are everywhere. Jerk, idiot, asshole, and worse are mixed in with shock and disbelief. Offers for dates, even offers to go to the wedding with her, are in the dozens, and I've barely skimmed the surface. I can't stand the thought of some other guy showing up as her wedding date. No way. I keep going, and it's the same on every other site, including her blog. It's like the entire internet is mad at me and feeling sorry for her, and she has so many date offers I've lost count. I head back to that photo in which we're gazing in each other's eyes like two love-struck puppies, and I remember how I felt. I think back to that romantic dinner. Why did I invite her? That's not a place for a casual date. That's a place a man brings a woman. When he wants to impress her, seduce her, or maybe show her how much I take a deep breath. How much he loves her. And after dinner, I squeeze my eyes shut. I can't think about it. I've made a big mistake, but I'm not going to pity myself. I have better things to do. For starters, I'll dump the date for hire business. Turn it into something else, something more sensible, something that would let me be with her and only her. I knew I'd have to go out on dates myself at first, but by now I should have a reliable staff for that. But I don't, and I'm ready to call it quits. I'll make it up to her somehow if she'll let me. How in the world can she forgive me? Red at night. Sailor's delighted, I think, once again. It means we'll have good weather tomorrow, and I think I have a plan.
Chapter 19. Aaliyah. Somehow I finished everything and it's only noon. Last night, all I could do was curl up on the sofa and watch cooking shows on TV, and halfway through the second one, it got on my nerves and I shut the thing off. I managed to finish sticking place cards in the personalized place card holders, but that was it. I drank 2 glasses of wine and I was out for the night. I relax a little, but not by much. It's an evening wedding, and the ceremony doesn't begin until 6, but I still have work to do at the site. Vendors will start arriving around 4, and I want to be completely finished with my work before they get there. I completely ignore my laptop when I retrieve a cardboard box from my office. I haven't looked at my blog or any of my social media accounts since I posted that awful photo of myself, and I don't plan to. This morning, I briefly wondered whether it was a big mistake, but I shut it out of my mind. I have too much to do, and I want to at least try to be happy for my sister. And I refuse to think of Luke. He's probably seen the photo by now, but I can't care about that. It's over. Done. I pass the mirror in the hall, and I shake my head. My eyes are still puffy, and I better do something about that. I roll up ice cubes in a towel and head to my bedroom. As I lean back on a pile of pillows and gently arrange the ice over my eyes, I let out my breath. Relax. 15 minutes should do it. 2 hours later, the ice has melted, and my shirt and pillows are soaked. I jump up in a panic and rush to the shower. I nick myself while shaving and get shampoo in my eyes. But I don't have time to care. I towel dry my hair, throw on jeans and a t-shirt, and toss my blow dryer and makeup case in an oversized handbag. I glance in the mirror. At least my eyes are almost back to normal. I grab my eye drops and toss the bottle in the bag. I pack my car quickly and check my list. My dress! I run back to my apartment and stop. Slow down, I tell myself. Everything will be fine. I grab the dress bag and check that my shoes and jewelry are inside. I look around my bedroom and the entire apartment. Nothing. Everything is packed and loaded. It's only a 20-minute drive to the old mansion, and I take my time. The vendors won't need my help. I just need to make sure everything's in place before they leave. Besides, the catering manager will be there with her staff throughout the reception, so no worries there. I make quick work of arranging the photos of my sister and her fiancé on shelves and in bookcases around the downstairs rooms. The guest book and pen goes here. The bowl for the disposable cameras goes there, and the bread basket and wine goblet goes outside on the little table beside the minister's podium. A breeze fans my face, and I look around. The lawns are freshly mowed, and the deep blue sky makes a beautiful contrast to the deep green leaves of trees and rose bushes. A few puffy white clouds float lazily along as a songbird tweets, and the sunshine lifts my mood. Just as I finish the place settings, a white van rolls up the noisy gravel driveway. It's the florist, and I hurry over. The rose boutonnieres were shipped overnight, and I'm thrilled. I hurry upstairs to get dressed. My mom is the first to arrive, and after we hug, she helps me with my hair as I finish my makeup. My eyes are still a little red, but the eye drops are taking effect. I saw your blog post, Aaliyah. What happened? Her voice is guarded but gentle. I turn around to look at her. I'm not thinking or talking about it until tomorrow. Would you let people know if anyone asks you, Mom? Please. Sure, honey. I understand. She pats my shoulder. It's Rachel's day, and I don't want it to be about my drama. She leans down and kisses my cheek, and we look in the mirror together. She's smiling. Just one thing. Whatever happened, I don't think Luke meant it the way it seemed. It just doesn't sound like him. I'm sure he'll be in touch. Maybe give him a chance to explain. She smiles again. Okay. I just can't think of it now. That's all. Footsteps on the stairs announce Rachel's arrival, and my Aunt Lucy with her daughter in tow. The band starts playing, and my mom heads downstairs to greet guests with the groom's mother. And it's a whirlwind of activity as we get ready. I help Rachel touch up her makeup and hair, and our mother comes back with Dad, and they fuss over Rachel for a minute before heading back down. The music gets louder, and a trilling embellishment means it's time. My hands shake as I totter on my spiked heels and meet the best man at the top of the curved staircase. We link arms and step carefully down the stairs as the photographer snaps photos. It's a short walk across the marble foyer to the outdoor landing, where we'll wait until the bride and groom get their cue. The cameras flash, and I smile. Somehow I'm doing this. Aaliyah. I look around. Luke, what are you doing here? I forget the cameras. I forget about smiling. He steps closer, and all I can see is his handsome face. Aaliyah, I'm so sorry. I was wrong. I was so stressed, and I took it out on you. I wasn't thinking. I can only stare. I love you. I've always loved you, and I finally realized it. Can you forgive me? I want to be more than friends. The works, the romance, everything. If only you'll say yes. If only you can forgive me. The tears roll down my cheeks once again. I shake my head in disbelief. Of course I forgive you. Luke, I love you too, but I wasn't sure if you felt the same way. His arms are around me and we're kissing and crying as the bride's cue plays over and over. Hey, you two, the bride is coming. The best man whispers loudly and pulls at my arm as I laugh and tell Luke I love him once more before someone pulls him away too. I love you, Aaliyah. He grins and heads for the bride's side of the seating arrangement. Aaliyah, get moving, Rachel hisses behind me. I throw her a grin and start down the steps. I'm smiling now, for real, and I keep my eyes on Luke as I walk down the aisle.
You think you can catch me? You think you can tame me?
Oh, I know I can. And you know it too, baby.
I gotta tell you, you're not the first to try.
But don't worry, baby. I'll be the last.
With sass like that, maybe I'll be the one that needs to tame you.
Let's cut to the chase, big boy. What you selling me?
Your appetite is big AF. I have just the thing that'll satisfy you.
Oh, really? And what's that?
Over 120 hours of romance audiobooks. Brought to you by Tyler Walker Romances in the Big AF Audio Bundle.
120 hours? That sounds amazing.
Your knees won't work afterwards if I do my job right.
Don't make promises you can't keep.
Well, I can keep this promise. Because these audiobooks are unabridged with all the spicy scenes that will make you put your earbuds on. You know, Tyler can get freaky because she marked the bundle down by 69% for a limited time.
I can't wait to take this bundle for a ride.
Visit tylerwalker.com and get this audio bundle. Just don't start listening if you're going to be cooking dinner. Because you might just forget to feed your family.
tylerwalker.com. Escape your life with Tyler.
Chapter 20. Luke, I think we should let people sit wherever they want. Aaliyah looks up at me from her seating chart. At Rachel's wedding, everyone moved around and sat where they wanted to anyway, remember? I remember. And after all that work with the place cards, too. I get up and lean over her shoulder to take a look. It's really just an excuse to wrap my arms around her and kiss the top of her head. But maybe she has a point. I think the place has a more casual atmosphere than formal, that's why. It's outdoors, and there's plenty of room to move around. At a reception hall or a restaurant, it wouldn't be so easy. I pull her chestnut hair back and watch the waves ripple down her back. I was a guilty party, as I recall, and so were you. I place little kisses on her neck and under her jaw, and she swivels to meet my lips. We kiss long and gentle until she laughs and pushes me away with one final kiss. So I guess we should let them move around or hold the reception somewhere else, she says. We're getting married in just a few months, and we decided to have it at the same historic mansion where Aaliyah's sister had her wedding. The place has sentimental value for both of us, since that's where we first declared our love for one another. I say we go with casual and skip the restaurant. It will keep our budget down, besides. That's true. Rachel sets the seating chart aside and turns to her list. Technically, we can easily afford a restaurant. My new business as an online marketing consultant is going great, and Aaliyah's blog has more than tripled its followers and the income it's producing. She's launched herself as a coach for new graduates and businesswomen who want to get ahead and need help with their wardrobes. We've even joked that her next step will be assisting women politicians on their campaign trails. And with Aaliyah's ambition and hard work, it's definitely a possibility. But we decided to splurge for our honeymoon and spend a week in the Caribbean, and we don't want to drain the bank. I head to the kitchen to get dinner started. In our new apartment, we've worked things out pretty well. We each have our own offices with do not disturb signs that mean do not enter, as well as keep communication to a minimum if we step out for coffee or something else. Aaliyah doesn't have the same problem with distractions like I do, but she says it keeps her on track. The signs get flipped over to available when we're completely open to anything, and it works. Plus, the few people I've outsourced work to are online, and that keeps management duties to a minimum. And having flexible time to spend with Aaliyah is fabulous. Some days we hardly see each other until bedtime, but on other days, when we finish work early, we're free to do what we want. Like today, we spent the afternoon working on wedding plans, and after dinner, we'll kick back and watch a movie, or maybe head out for a walk or a bike ride, or even spend time alone reading or whatever we want to do. I sprinkle the chicken with herbs and lemon juice and pop it in the oven before making a salad. Glass of wine? Sure. I pour 2 glasses and kiss her again as I place her glass on the table. You know what? I think I'm done. She stretches her arms and stands up. Enough sitting for one day. She picks up her glass and clinks it against mine. To us. To us. I don't move my eyes from hers as we each take a sip. I love you, Aaliyah. I'm so happy we're doing this. She smiles and sets down her glass, and a certain look comes over her face as she takes my wine glass and sets it next to hers. I know what that look means, and my heart swells as she wraps her arms around me and leans in for a kiss. I love you too, she whispers. More than ever. More than I thought possible. It's huge and even overwhelming sometimes, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. Same here, my love. It's an amazing feeling, isn't it, when you love someone? She nods. And it's not just the passion, she adds. It's something deeper than that. I agree. I look at you sometimes, and I feel something fill my heart, my chest, my whole being. Sometimes it feels like I'm melting. She kisses me. And no, I tell her. It's not just the passion, but I admit I like that part too. She laughs, and I laugh with her as I hold her tight and kiss her with just a little more urgency. It's like a fire ignites. It's as if we've waited our whole lives for this, and the tiniest spark can set both of us ablaze in a matter of seconds. I take her hand and we head to the bedroom where we take out time. There's no hurry. We have all the time in the world. Unbutton her blouse, take off her bra, and bury my face in her chest. I'm lost in her beauty, in the shape of her neck, her chest, and even her arms as I kiss her. I'm still amazed to see her naked after so many years of remaining behind an unspoken boundary. Sure, we caught glimpses from time to time, but we usually pretended it didn't happen.
And that's where we're going to put a pause on pleasure.
Looks like the rest of this chapter is just too naughty to put on the air.
As much as we'd love to share every little detail, we've got to stick to YouTube's guidelines to keep these free audiobooks coming.
They've got some rules about what we can show, and we wouldn't want to risk losing the chance to bring you more content.
As frustrating as it is to build the tension only to be interrupted, Miss Tyla always knows how to make it up to you.
You can find the full, uncut scene over at tylawalker.com.
With an entire library of unabridged audiobooks and ebooks, Miss Tyla's collection is waiting for you.
If you use code SAVE40, you'll get 40% off any digital product, even on bundles that are already discounted.
So don't let the fun stop here. Head over to tylawalker.com and treat yourself with Miss Tyla.
I smell smoke, she says, looking around. Suddenly I remember. The chicken! We both laugh. Yeah, well, what's a little burnt chicken compared to all this? I'll cut the burnt parts off. And we kiss, long, slow, and deep. To forever, Aaliyah. Yes, forever.